That lawnmower. That's it. Yeah. Stop that. Jake Paul might be too big for him, or Tank might crack him. You don't know.
And made a post and basically told Roach. He tagged Lamar Roach and he said, "Look, you're not getting that fight with Tank."
Jake Paul versus Gervonta Tank Davis isn't just a fight, it's a clash of worlds. On one side, you have Paul, the YouTuber turned prizefighter whose size, power, and crossover fame have made him one of the most polarizing names in combat sports. On the other, Tank Davis, a 3-division world champion with knockout power and years of experience at the sport's highest level. The question everyone is asking, does size beat skill, or does elite experience crush raw power? Tank has nothing left to prove in boxing. He's headlined pay-per-views, sold out arenas, and built a legacy as one of the most feared punchers of his generation. But stepping into the ring with Jake Paul presents a unique risk. Paul is naturally bigger, stronger, and unafraid to use his physicality.
He's too big for him, but like Jake Paul might be too big for him, or Tank might crack him. You don't know. Like I said, or as an exhibition, we don't know if they throw at each other or not, or we don't know. I don't know. I can't give an opinion because I don't know what's going on.
Do you think it impacts, will it impact Tank's legacy if Jake Paul were to beat him or even knock him out?
Dude, Tank's a 3-division world champion, 4-time 3-division world champion. At the end of it, bro, you can't take anything away from him.
You know, some people trying to give, that's fair, some people trying to give Tank a hard time. They're saying he should have took a fight with Lamar Roach or Shakur Stevenson. But when you think about it, do you think this is business and look, he's getting a bag, or is there some validity to people saying that he ducked Roach?
I mean, there's still other options, you know. It's bro, you can't be mad at somebody for doing what they feel is best for them. It's the same way Roach feels Tank is the best option for him. Same way that Stevenson thinks Tank's the best option for him, or all that stuff, right?
One clean punch from a man that size can change everything, even against a proven world champion. Still, boxing history reminds us of one truth: skill matters. Years of training, timing, and ring IQ often outweigh brute strength. Paul may have improved dramatically since his days as a novice, but he has never faced a fighter with Tank's pedigree. For Davis, the stakes are enormous. Beat Paul, and he adds another unforgettable highlight to an already legendary career, a knockout of a much larger opponent. Lose, and even though he's already a decorated champion, critics will swarm. The casual fan won't care about weight classes or context. They'll only see the headline, Jake Paul beat Gervonta Davis. For Paul, it's the ultimate gamble with nothing to lose. He's not expected to beat Tank. If he does, it's a career-defining moment. If he doesn't, he cashes a massive check and still walks away with headlines and eyeballs.
Davis is more to lose because he's the bona fide world champion. I don't care if he's much smaller. I think Jake Paul has sort of plateaued as far as where his boxing is concerned. It's rather low level. He's big, he's physical, he's strong, he can hit. So there is that risk. Davis, at lightweight, you're in a moment where it's too physical for you. You can clinch. Against the heavyweight, where you clinching? You ain't getting out of that corner just clinching anymore if you run out of space. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. But Davis, listen, there's a lot of talking points that I'm sure we'll get into when this gets closer to the fight. Davis can still punch at lightweight. Can he drop a heavyweight? There's a lot to gain there, right? If Davis knocks...
The answer is yes.
If Davis drops Jake on his ass, as much as Davis is the one with more to lose, it's still a highlight moment.
A visual that will stay forever.
Yeah, but if you get dropped, even if you're smaller, you're still a world champion in multiple weight classes. If you get dropped, what's the look? What's the feel? On the inside, as boxers, me and Chris Algieri, the champ, even you, Jimmy, you have fight experience, so we know that the risk is a big guy that big hits you. You're probably going down if you're a small guy, if he hits you clean. So we know the risk, but how does it look to the public eye who don't understand that? You know what I mean? The public. So there is a lot to lose, though. There's a bit to gain. I wouldn't necessarily have an issue with this had Davis's career arc been one that benefited boxing. Davis was manufactured and put into a position where he's supposed to benefit boxing, and I don't think he has. I think he's hurt boxing. So by giving him this reward, that's my problem. Why are we watching this? Why don't you make him earn his spot that he still hasn't earned mine?
This fight isn't just about legacy. It's about spectacle, business, and the evolving face of boxing in the digital age. Old-school purists may roll their eyes, but the truth is undeniable. Tank Davis and Jake Paul together will draw millions of viewers. Some will tune in hoping Tank proves once again that boxing is about skill, not clout. Others will tune in hoping to see the impossible, the internet star taking down a world champion. Either way, when the bell rings, it's not YouTube versus boxing. It's size versus skill, fame versus legacy, and hype versus history. And everyone will be watching. The boxing world is divided over Jake Paul versus Gervonta Tank Davis. Traditionalists call it a circus. Purists insist it makes no sense.
He invested on it, and I'm actually very happy for Gervonta and Jake. I really am, man. It's good for the sport in some way, you know.
So a heavyweight versus a lightweight.
Yeah.
You got a fly hit me, yeah. A heavyweight versus a lightweight. How's this gonna work?
Hey, they make it work. It's an exhibition for a reason. So, you know, they know what they're doing. And, you know, shout out to Netflix and shout out to both of them, honestly. Like I said, I think a lot of people in the boxing world are kind of upset. I could care less. I think they're going to go out there and make their money. It falls on the number 8 for a reason. They're going to make a lot of money.
Have you got a prediction for that fight?
My prediction? A show.
Well, clearly it's a show, but when you've got a lot of people underestimating Jake Paul once again, but when you've got a heavyweight boxer who knows how to throw punches and knows the basics against a lightweight, it's quite a difference. I mean, have you sparred heavyweights before?
Yeah.
For competitive sparring in the ring?
Yeah, it's not the same. It's not the same, not at all. Definitely got to move. I've actually played around a few times, went through between their legs just to duck around. But yeah, because they're taller, you know. But I think for that competition, that fight, it reminds me a lot like The Big Show, and Floyd Mayweather when they fought in WrestleMania.
Yeah. And will that end the same way?
Possibly. Maybe some brass knuckles in there too.
Can you see Jake Paul knocking out Gervonta Davis?
It's boxing, man. And if it's a show like this, anything goes, anything happens.
But one truth overshadows all of it: the fight is going to sell, and it's going to sell big. On paper, the matchup looks absurd. Jake Paul, a natural cruiserweight flirting with heavyweight territory, outweighs Tank by nearly 60 pounds. Davis, a 3-division world champion, typically fights at lightweight. That kind of size disparity is almost unheard of in serious boxing. It's why some critics compare this spectacle to Floyd Mayweather's exhibition against The Big Show in WWE, more entertainment than competition. Nate Diaz and Jeff Mayweather have already dismissed the fight as little more than a show. They argue that no matter the result, it doesn't add to either fighter's legacy.
I gotta ask you, Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis. Does Davis have a chance?
Gervonta is a great boxer, but he ain't gonna be.
So you got Jake Paul by knockout, or?
No, I don't got anybody, but I don't think
He's just too small.
it's just I don't want to beat up somebody that small. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to lose to somebody that. There's no point in the fight. It's a great fight, actually. I'm not hating on the fight, but I think my thoughts on it is let's watch and see what happens.
Ryan Garcia said that boxing's turning into WWE.
Yeah,
with that type of matchup. Do you agree? Last thing, White House card, like he said, you want Conor McGregor?
Yeah, but the whole thing's on WWE, so it's like, at least that's happening and it's getting something to talk about, something to watch, and I'm looking forward to that fight.
Others, like respected journalist Gareth A. Davies, go further, warning that mismatches like this undermine boxing's integrity. In his words, the sport risks sliding into spectacle over substance. But not everyone sees it that way. Former champion BJ Flores, who has worked closely with Jake Paul, argues the fight is a stepping stone. Sharing the ring with Tank elevates Paul's credibility.
It's just kind of weird because Jake Paul is extremely bigger than Tank, and I mean, but with it being exhibition, it makes sense. It's fine. He got a big name that he's going to be fighting, but I mean, it really makes no sense because he's going to be weighing over 200 and some pounds. Tank's going to probably be when maybe at the most 147, 150. So I don't even understand why the fight is happening.